Reddy and Freddy. The 100th Day of School. By Abby Klein. Chapter 1. Help. 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 I yelled as I ran into the kitchen in my underwear. Freddy, what's the problem? Asked my mom. Do you plan on going to school in your shark underwear, ding dong? I think you forgot something, like your pants, my sister Susie said, laughing. Ha ha, very funny. I didn't forget my pants. I have them right here, I said, holding them up. Well, could you put them on? I'm trying to eat breakfast here, and I'm losing my appetite seeing you in your tidy whities with sharks all over them. That's the problem. I can't put them on. Oh, does the little baby need help getting dressed? Susie cooed. No, I don't need help, I said, sticking my tongue out at her. Then why don't you put your pants on, Iggish sweetheart, said my mom. Because the button fell off, so they won't stay up. Then go get another pair, honey. I can't. Why not? Because I have to wear these pants today. You're crazy, Susie mumbled under her breath. I heard that, I said, and I'm not crazy. But, Freddy, I don't understand, said my mom. Why can't you just go put on another pair of pants? Because today is twin day at school. So that means you are supposed to come dressed the same as one of your friends. Who are you going to dress the same as? Asked Susie. Frankenstein? Oh, that's so funny, I forgot to laugh. No. For your information, I am going to be twins with Robbie. Did the two of you decide which dresses you are going to wear? You think you're so funny, don't you? Yeah, I do. Susie chuckled. Robbie and I decided that we would each wear an orange shark shirt, khaki pants, and our black sneakers. How original, Susie said. Can't you wear your other pair of khakis? Asked my mom. No, I already tried those this morning, and they're too small. Well then why don't you call Robbie and ask him to put on a different pair of pants? I can't. He's already left. His mom had to drop him off early. Maybe we can pin them. That's a great idea, Mom. Just tell me where the pins are, and I'll get one. I'm not sure where I put them, sweetie. Let me think. Well, think fast, Mom. We don't have all morning, I said, jumping around in my underwear. Calm down, Freddy. Give me a minute to think. Why don't you sit and eat your cereal while I look around? You want him to eat while he's naked? Said Susie. Gross. Oh, Susie, he's got his underwear on, for goodness sake. Leave him alone. I sat down to eat my cereal while my mom searched for a safety pin. I could hear her opening and closing different cabinets and muttering to herself, not here. No, not here, either. I had given up hope when my mom came running back into the kitchen. I found something better than a pin, she said happily. My mom held up a little, brown button. It's one of Grammy Rose's old buttons. I think this will be perfect for your pants, Freddy. It looks like it's just the right size for the buttonhole. Really? I said, feeling hopeful. Let's see. Hand me your pants. I handed my pants to my mom. She tried the button in the hole. We've got a winner, she said. It'll just take me a minute to sew it on. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I sang as I did a little dance around the kitchen table. Gi okay, dancing queen, you can sit down now, said Susie. I think I'm going to throw up. I stuck my tongue out at her. She swatted her hand in my direction. Get out of here, weirdo. All right. Enough, you two, said my mom. Here, Freddy, I think I'm finished. You can try these on. I took the pants and slipped them on. I held my breath as I tried the button. It slipped easily into the buttonhole, and my pants stayed up. It works! It works! Thanks, Mom, you're a genius, I said, giving her a great big hug. I rubbed my lucky shark tooth, and I pumped my fist in the air. Now Robbie and I can be twins after all. Chapter 2. Twins. The whole pants crisis almost made me late to school. I got to my classroom just as the final bell was ringing. I hung up my backpack and went to sit down on the rug next to my best friend, Robbie. You had me worried, Freddy, said Robbie. I thought maybe you weren't coming today. Yeah, sorry. I had a little crisis this morning. Crisis? What kind of crisis? Are you okay? Robbie asked with a worried look on his face. The button on these pants fell off, and my mom had to sew on a new one. That was your crisis? Yeah. Freddy, I've got news for you. That's not a crisis. It is if it's the only pair of khaki pants you have. Why didn't you just put on another pair of pants? Duh, because it's twin day. We wouldn't look like twins if I were wearing jeans, and you were wearing khaki pants. Oh yeah, Robbie said, laughing. But I'm sure we're the only ones who have matching shark shirts. Then Robbie turned to our friend, Jessie. So, Jessie, how do Freddy and I look? You guys look great. Just like twins. Those shark shirts are awesome. And you even have the same shoes. Max, the biggest bully in the whole first grade, butted in. I think the two of you look stupid. Oh, you're just jealous, said Jessie. No, I'm not, shouted Max. You're jealous because no one would dress up like you for Twin Day. Yes, they would, said Max. I didn't want to. Sure, said Jessie. Max scowled at her. Maybe if you were a little nicer to people, Max, then they'd want to be your twin. Max made a fist and shook it in front of Jessie's face. How would you like a punch in the nose? Jessie is so brave, she didn't even flinch. Just then our teacher, Mrs. Wishy, saw Max out of the corner of her eye. Max Sellers. What do you think you're doing? Max dropped his fist and looked up at Mrs. Wishy. Nothing, he said. Well, it sure looked like something to me, Mrs. Wishy said. You need to go sit in a chair right now. Max slowly got up off the rug and went to go sit in a chair. Ho-oh-dee, are you okay, Jessie? Mrs. Wishy asked. Yes, I'm fine, Jessie said, smiling. When it came to Max, Jessie was always fine. That's because she was the only one in the class who wasn't afraid of him. Mrs. Wishy walked back to the front of the room. Good morning, boys and girls. I have to tell you about something special that is going to happen at school this week. Are we going to have pony rides at recess? Chloe asked. Pony rides at recess? Where does she come up with this stuff? I whispered to Robbie. Robbie shook his head and made the cuckoo sign with his finger. XSM Mrs. Wishy must have been thinking the same thing because she stared at Chloe for a minute with a strange look on her face, and then she said, no, we are not going to have pony rides at recess. That's too bad, said Chloe. I just love ponies. I keep asking my mommy to buy me a little brown one. Is there anything she doesn't ask her parents to buy? Jessie whispered to me. I doubt it. That girl is so spoiled. I know, I said, nodding my head. If we had ponies, they'd poop all over the playground, Max blurted out. Max, that is not appropriate, said Mrs. Wishy. Okay, everyone, enough talk about ponies. We are not having any ponies at school. Now, as I was saying, something special is happening at school this week. Does anyone know what it is? We all stared at Mrs. Wishy with blank looks on our faces. I'll give you a hint. Today is the 98th day of school, so that means on Wednesday it will be the 100th day of school, we all yelled. That's right. Wednesday is the 100th day of school, and we are going to have a little celebration. Hooray, hooray, we all shouted. You mean like a party? Chloe asked. Well, sort of, said Mrs. Wishy. Oh, I love parties. Chloe squealed. 10, is there anything she doesn't love? Jessie whispered. Yeah, Max Sellers. We both giggled. Are we going to have cupcakes and treats and decorate the whole room? Chloe continued. It's not exactly that kind of party, said Mrs. Wishy. That sounds more like a birthday party. At our 100th day party we are going to do a lot of activities with the number 100. Oh, Chloe said, sounding disappointed. It's going to be lots of fun. On that day, I would like each of you to bring in 100 of something. Robbie raised his hand. Yes, Robbie, said Mrs. Wishy. Can we bring in 100 of anything we want? Yes, as long as you can carry it into the room, Mrs. Wishy said, smiling. Boy, that sure is a lot of something, I said. I'm not sure I have 100 of anything. Sure you do, Freddy. I think you'll be surprised. Remember, 100 is only 10 groups of 10. That's true. Before you bring in your items, please count them to make sure you have exactly 100, no more and no less. Be creative and use your imagination, Mrs. Wishy said. That's easy for her to say, I thought to myself. She didn't have to bring in 100 things. How was I going to find 100 of something creative in 2 days? I hit my forehead with the palm of my hand. Think, think, think. Chapter 3. What to bring? What's wrong, Freddy? My mom asked that night at dinner. You haven't touched your food, and I made your favorite tuna noodle casserole. Oh, I bet I know why he's pouting, said Susie. Robbie probably forgot it was twin day, so Freddy didn't have a twin. Wrong. Robbie remembered. In fact, we were the best twins in the class. Everybody said so. So then why are you moping? Asked my dad. I heard Mom saved the day when the button on your pants came off this morning. I'd think you'd be happy about that. I am. I mean I was. I mean. Spit it out, shark breath, said Susie. What do you mean? Susie, said my dad, leave Freddy alone. What is it, Freddy? Asked my mom. Why are you upset? 100th day. I blurted out. 100th day? What does that mean? Asked my dad. He's talking about the 100th day of school, said Susie. When is that? My mom asked. It's on Wednesday, said Susie. Isn't that supposed to be a fun day? Yeah, it's really fun. You get to do a lot of cool activities with the number 100. I remember from when I was in first grade. So, Freddy, I don't understand. I would think you'd be excited about this, said my mom. What's the problem? The problem is that Mrs. Wushy told us to bring in 100 of something special, and I don't have 100 of anything cool. I cried, bending over and covering my head with my hands. Freddy, Freddy, said my mom. Sit up right this minute. We are eating dinner. I don't want you to put your head in your plate. And remember what I said about no elbows on the table. My mom was such a neat freak. Where are your manners? She gently pulled my head up off the table. Susie started laughing uncontrollably and pointed at me. Ha, ha, ha. That's hilarious. Ha, ha, ha. What's so funny? You've got. I've got what? I yelled at her. You've got a noodle from the tuna noodle casserole hanging from your hair. What? Said my mom. She grabbed my chin in her hand and turned me toward her. Oh my goodness, Freddy. Look what you did. What a mess. Let me find something to clean it, she said, getting up from the table. And you can stop laughing now, Susie. But it's so funny. I pulled the noodle out of my hair and stuck it in my mouth. My mom came back with a paper towel and a sponge. Turn and look at me, Freddy, so I can get it out of your hair. I already did. You did? Where is it? I ate it. You what? I ate it. You, that's gross, said Susie. You ate it? Freddy, you don't eat things out of your hair. My dad snickered. Daniel, you're not helping me here, said my mom. I'm trying to teach Freddy some manners. You're right, said my dad. I'm sorry. Freddy, please do not put your head in your plate while we are eating. And if you do get something in your hair by accident, then you need to go to the sink and wash it out, not eat it. Now, what do you have to say? Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. Let me get you a fresh plate, said my mom, taking my dirty plate to the sink. Tuna noodle casserole tastes a lot better without hair in it. She brought me a fresh plate of food and set it down in front of me. Now, Freddy, you start eating, and we'll all help you think of something you can bring for the 100th day. Susie, my dad asked, what did you bring when you were in Mrs. Wushy's class? I brought in a necklace I had made with 100 beads. Oh, yes, now I remember, said my mom. That's a good idea, Freddy. Do you want to do that? No, that's too girly. How about your baseball cards? Asked my dad. You probably have 100 of those. Nah, Max already said he was going to bring in baseball cards. I don't want to copy him. He might get mad. Well, you certainly don't want to make him mad. No way, I said, shaking my head. Why don't you bring in 100 paper clips? My mom suggested. I think I have a package of 100 in my desk drawer. Do you want me to go look? Nah. Paper clips are too boring. We could hook them together and make a long chain. Thanks, Mom, but I don't want to do that. Mrs. Whooshy said to be creative and use our imaginations. Paper clips aren't very original. You could bring in 100 animal crackers, said Susie. Good idea, but they might break before I got them to school. I hit the table with my fist. Do you see what I mean? I can't think of anything good to bring. Freddy, do not bang on the table. You already made one mess tonight. We don't need another one, said my mom. Calm down, Freddy. You'll think of something, my dad said. But I only have 2 days, and I want to think of something really good. My dad chuckled. Why are you laughing, Dad? It's not funny. I just had a great idea. You did? What is it? Tell me. Tell me. You know that real shark jaw Mom and I got you last Christmas? Yeah. Why don't you bring that? Bring that? What are you talking about, Dad? I only have one shark's jaw, not 100. I know, but I bet that jaw has 100 teeth in it. What a great idea, Dad. I'm going upstairs to get it right now. I jumped up from my chair and ran out of the kitchen. In a flash, I was back with the shark's jaw in my hands. I set it down on the table. Do you want to help me count? Sure, we'll all help, said my mom. We all started counting together. 1, 2, 3. We counted slowly because we didn't want to miss a tooth. It took a while,